Hello, we are back for episode number 4 of my senior project at home guitar video. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to grab a pick real quick. So last time we talked about strum patterns and kind of where you should be at or how you can work up to that point. And if you can do chords A, C, D, E, and G, pretty well. You can jump between them. You could probably play. Quite a few songs if you have the strum pattern down too. So if you're comfortable with that, you can use the app Ultimate Guitar Tabs that I told you about at the beginning on the first episode to search up any song you want, and you can give it a shot. But we're gonna take it a little bit further, so you can do more than just a 4-chord song. But if that's what you're going for, give it a shot. See how it goes. Also, if you were to do that, something that you're going to need to know is on guitar tabs or just playing guitar, there is something called a capo that you're going to want to use. This is a capo. I have a capo right here. Basically what it does is you clamp it on the end and it makes all the strings, as you'd imagine, like whatever fret it's on, it makes all those that's like the 0 fret. So, if I were to play a G with capo 2, technically that's an A. So, it's weird stuff, but you'll figure it out. That's just something that you're going to use a lot if you're learning a lot of songs, stuff like that. But we're actually going to talk about something interesting. Now, I hope some of you have asked, well, if the notes in one octave go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I know how to play A, C, D, E, and G, what about B and F? Well, let me introduce you to bar chords, because there's not an open chord for B or F. So, we're going to talk about basically using the idea of capoing and playing, let's say, an E. Capo 1 would be an F. So this is an E, and if we were to take the capo, lay it down here, and play this, that's an F. Now you're probably wondering, well, Charlie, I'm playing a song. I'm not going to stop in the middle of the song to put on a capo to play an E, which is technically an F, to go back, take it off, and go and continue the song, because that's stupid. So don't do that. What you got to do is you basically use your first finger, your pointer finger, as if it was a capo. So you're going to lay it down like this. It's covering the first one. And then you use finger 3 on string 2, 3rd fret, finger 4 on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and the 2nd finger on the 1, 2, 3, 4th string, 2nd fret. So these 3 are imitating what would be a regular E. So you could play an E right here. That's an E. You just move it up. That sounds really weird. And then you put down your little finger capo. That's an F. Yeah, these are a little bit harder because it's really hard to cover up all the strings with one finger. So you gotta really push, but you gotta work at it a little bit so it doesn't sound like that. If you're not pushing very hard, it'll just sound. You want to push down really hard, it'll be a little more clear. So that's F, and we're going to talk about B, and we're going to use the exact same strategy here. That if this is an A, if we were to go capo 2, because the jump from A to B is two frets, and the jump from E to F is 1. That's why it's 1. So to play a B, we would have to take the A and go up 2 and drop our capo. Well, it's the exact same idea here, but instead of, you can do this, place all your fingers in line right here, bar it right here, but that's a lot of work, and this is the realistic way to do it, is that you'll bar it here. You don't want to press, imagine your capo finger, you don't want to press the top string down, you just want to touch it, so when you strum, you don't hear it. Because if you're not touching it, it'll sound like this. And if you're pushing it down, it'll sound like this, and you don't want that. So that's what it should sound like. You should hardly hear it. And then take your third finger and just slap it on the strings 3, 4, 5. So it'll look like this. I don't know if you can see, but this is your capo finger. It's basically pushing down on string 2 and covering up, just touching the first string. And then this one's on 3, 4, 5, and it'll sound like this. That's a B. And then you can play B minor too. Same strategy applies. Have I taught you minors? I'm going to talk about that later. Talk about that in the next episode. And you might be wondering, well, Charlie, if you can do the strategy of playing an A with a capo and change it to different notes, can you do that with like a D or an E or an F? In theory, you could. I've never ever seen anybody do it. So I guess you could try it, but I would not recommend that. Yeah, it's more like a finger thing. Like, I guess you could play an E like this. That sounds terrible. Don't do it. Never do it. But what you can do is, if this is a B, you could slide it down 1. That's a C. Slide it down 2. That's a D. Slide it down 2 more. That's an E. So you're telling me this and this are the same? Yes. So, if that was a little overwhelming, it's okay. That was just like a little haha fun fact. But if you want to experiment with that, you can. If not, it'll be easier to just play your regular bar chords, or your regular open chords, sorry. So you have your A, your B, your C, your D, your E, your sorry, F, and your G. I play Fs differently. That's why I did that. So now you know all the chords technically, but we'll talk a little bit more in the next episode on like what you use when you play different songs and stuff like that, how you play it, because there's multiple ways to play things, but what's the easiest, what sounds the best, stuff like that. So we'll talk about the next one. Work on your B's and F's, and experiment with it a little bit, and just try to become comfortable with moving between chords and stuff like that. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.